Welcome to I think the name is StikCast. That might be the name. And this is the first episode where we have the man, the myth, the legend, BeigePlaz. Is that how you say it?
BeigePlaz.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, we're basically gonna ask you some questions, and it's either gonna be more of a podcast or an interview, and it's okay if it's either or neither. um, so yeah, let me pull up the question. This is our first question. How did you get into and find stickbots?
Okay, this is a fun one. So I think it was back in 2018 or 17. We went to this museum, and as we were, and they had like this gift shop, right? And I was doing stop motion at the time. I forgot how we got into it. I think it was um there was this stop motion app. I was using a really um what was it? It was like a tablet. I forgot the brand. It was pretty. The
Like a
camera quality wasn't that good.
generic
Yeah,
Android
so I we
tablet?
were at the we were at the museum and stickbots were there. They were like in the gift shop. I'm like, oh, I've seen these guys before, and I got two and my brother got two. And when I first I forgot what I first animated them in. I just made like these really short videos, and when I decided to make a stickbot series for the first time, it was probably a month after I first saw Stranger Things.
Okay, so that was probably the biggest inspiration for 5 parts.
Oh yeah, Stranger Things. Yeah.
I know there were. That's it. Where I once went to a museum and they were also selling stickbot pets specifically. So I think museums were like a major supply back in the day for stickbots.
Oh yeah.
I think like have you looked on eBay and like you see all those listings for stickbot pets and stuff
Oh
for
yes.
sale?
Yeah. I have I think I have two stickbot pets, but I don't actually own them. My brother does.
The Is that gonna be the next character in 5 parts?
Oh my god. I just realized I haven't used. I have like the midget stickbots or like the children's stickbots. I never use those, and the animal stickbots. Never use those either.
When I was watching this show, the thing that like really stuck out to me was, especially like in the first couple seasons, with only really using like translucent, like the basic translucent colors and stuff, it gives like a very cool vibe of like the original stickbot videos, which I think that show really masters.
Oh yeah. I
So
remember. Okay, back in season one, I was using. Okay, his face was so faded. Just looking back at it now. Jason from season one was a blue solid stick bot,
oh yeah, you're
and
right.
yeah, he had no mouth. His eyes were pretty much to the verge of fading off, and I like kept on drawing it with marker every episode, so his face looks different like every episode. And he was so like I think I still have his stick bot. I think I used him in season three, and I changed it out in a random episode in season two. I don't know. I don't really remember back then that much because back then when I was like making the original series, it was like every episode I just make up at the top of my head. Uh, okay, I just get ready to film because I'm bored, and I just grab like I think I lost him at one point, and that's why I changed his stick butt out. I forgot why I changed his stick butt out, but it definitely was a good choice. It makes him like more recognizable with the other characters that were translucent.
Yeah, more distinct, but like still kind of in that same kind of vibe. Did you were you inspired by Tales of the Strange, or was it like just Stranger Things?
I think it was just Stranger Things. I remember
Okay.
seeing Tales of the Strange. I think when I was working on season three,
So probably like
and I
a
was
bit
editing the
later.
finale episode. Yeah, I was editing the finale episode, and I was like just waiting for something. I think it was like exporting. So I looked up Stranger Things Stickbot, and I saw Tales of the Strange, and I think they use Stickbot pets in it.
Yeah, it was. It's like yeah, it was mainly focused on the stickbot pets. The
Yeah.
I saw Eddie or Animation Eddie. He was the writer, and the show was originally supposed to be meant for. It wasn't going to be Stranger Things at all. It was just going to be like trying to hide the monkey, the monkey stick pet around the house. Uh, yeah.
Okay. Wait. Okay, I just found it. I was looking it up.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was the yeah, I remember this. I could tell that it was definitely a different concept when they first came up with it.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's really really unique as a concept. I remember when I was coming up with my series, I tried. I mean, I was really young at the time. I think it was like 9 or 10. I think it was 9. Um, I was looking like I was trying to be really original, but I couldn't help, and it was almost like plagiarism. I don't know
The
if any of those elements are still there.
I think that
So in season 4, yeah,
I think that compared to Stranger Things, or I think that compared to Tales of the Strange, you've differed a lot more in 5 parts.
yeah. I'm trying to make it more original, and then I'm working on episode 5 right now, and I'm trying to make it like the story's trying to drift a little bit more away from season 1 because I kind of look at it like season 3 and season 4 or where the show really like have its like final vibe to it. Because
Yeah.
season 4 is the final season of the main show.
Will season 5 be like a spin-off?
Yeah, I think if I were to do like a 5, it would definitely be like a spin-off.
Okay. So it will not be 5 parts.
Yeah, that the title actually isn't. Yeah, I always got that, especially like family members are like, why do you call it 5 parts? Is it like 5 episodes or 5 seasons? And the reason why is because, well, I'm not gonna reveal anything just yet, but it's like part of the. It's actually part of the plot.
Okay.
I kind of started hinting it in the last episode. I don't know why, because I knew it was gonna be part of the plot ever since I started doing season 1. But I actually didn't. I wasn't writing like the script back then, so I was just kind of making it up along as I went, and I never actually wanted to explain the lore until season 3.
Did you have like a basic idea as you were going along, or were you kind of like following Stranger Things and differing at different parts?
I actually don't remember. I think I had a little idea on where I was going. I mean, well, not season 1. I think season 1 was kind of a mess. I mean, I kept season 1 on there because I like looking back at it where it started and where it is now. But season 1 was like I don't even remember what I was thinking when I was making like the original episodes because I remember the first episode had some sort of script to it, and then the second episode was totally made up. Third episode was pretty much made up. I think the fourth episode actually had a script, and then the fifth episode, um, yeah, I don't even
I think the
like I just remember the finale. I remember this thing didn't even air on YouTube. I forgot what I had it on, but
like
you could
Vimeo or
actually see when
something.
you want. Yeah, it was. I didn't. I don't know how I did not realize that I could just export it straight from. I think I was using Stop Motion Studio,
Hmm.
and it's just screen recorded, and the screen recording logos
Oh
are
yeah,
slapped all over the
there's one
videos.
with the Minecraft picture, the
Oh,
Minecraft skin.
oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't like talking about that one.
Is
Oh my
that
god, this.
another realm of BeigePlaz that we don't know
Oh
about?
yeah, that is the unknown realm of BeigePlaz that we don't talk about.
Okay.
Thank God those videos are gone.
Eradicated.
Um, yeah. So I think that season 1. So if we start season 1, I think I start easing into like season 2. It was when I got my Canon camera for Christmas. This thing's like a actual photography camera,
What
and
kind of
I
camera is
connected
it?
it. It is a Rebel. I'm trying to look behind me right now. It's a Rebel T6.
Nice.
It was a Christmas gift after I got it in 2019 or 2020, I think. And I wanted Dragon Frame so bad. My laptop at the time, because I'm using like an RTX computer now, which is really cool. That's why I think the season
30
4 definitely looks better than season 3.
4090 Ryzen 10 30
Yeah,
40.
yeah. I got a 360, a 3060.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was like watching all these videos on Dragon Frame because I wanted it so bad because I was looking up how to use my camera with my tablet, but I couldn't. Yeah, it was like this It was like almost like I don't even know the word for it. It's like something I deeply wanted, but I knew I couldn't get just yet because, first of all, my laptop was like really bad. It was really, really bad at the time. I was 17 years old, and I decided, you know what, I want the camera quality to be better for season two. So what I did was I actually took every picture individually, put it
Oh
on my
my
tablet, and
god.
then opened up the editor,
So
and I scaled it down to the smallest size.
that's why it's a 4:3 and it has a slower FPS.
Oh yeah, because that was that's actually like the smallest picture size, and it was so choppy, and I was like,
That
I guess this will do.
so when you got
And then
Dragon Frame was when that was like season 3-ish.
yeah, season three.
Okay.
That's when I got Dragon Fruit for the first time, and I thought, oh yeah, probably higher FPS means like better animation. But if like even on my not 5 parts videos, you can see where I use 60 FPS. Like I have
Interpolation.
this like stick, yeah, I have this stick bot sandwich short before the season three teaser, which I forgot all about, and it's 60 FPS, and I didn't really like the look of it. Now looking back at it,
Hmm.
it was just like 60 FPS just looks way too fast. So I used 24, and I think the animation got better by the end of season three. I could definitely see where it started. Like episode one, I could definitely tell that was before I really got the hang of the whole entire transformation from tablet to dragon frame.
I think season 3, episode 7. That's like probably. I'd say that's where like the quality like really peaked, and then it kept on going up from there.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I remember everything about filming season three in the summer, even though it takes place in the winter. Really strange. I was trying to get the final episode to come out the Christmas before, like, it came out in September, and I wanted to come out the Christmas before that whole entire month, like a Christmas a year ago. But the episode took like 6 months to make, so it was just a whole entire. It just like did not land on a release date, so it came out on September 1st, I think.
The
It was supposed to come out on Christmas.
So it took you did it take you the whole summer to film the finale scene for season 3?
Oh yeah, yeah. It took me a whole entire summer.
That how it so originally I think did the episodes come out like weekly or monthly?
I think originally it was monthly, or we no,
Okay.
it was weekly. I think season two was weekly, and then season three, there was 3 episodes that came out like a week apart from each other, and then the runtime on the episodes just started to get longer and longer, because I was starting to get a hang of it, and then they just took really long to come out.
Yeah. The yeah. What made you choose interpolation from that stickbot channel?
Hmm. I Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit hard one. It just might have been like, yeah, it was like at the time. I think I'm talking about season three here. It was just like this thing. Like once I started it, I think that it just was like, yeah, it's pretty much really big for at this point. So I was just gonna keep on going, and then I got inspired by different stickbot things.
Oh,
Well, you
who are
know
your
Moonshine Animation, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah, yeah.
Moonshine Animation was the one. Yeah, he made Off the Grid, I think.
Yeah.
Or I'm totally wrong there. I don't know if he made Off the Grid or not.
Yeah, you made off the grid
But
or Monster Attack.
yeah, he was the first one that I watched, and I found out he used Dragon Frame, and I'm like, oh shoot! So people who do animate stick bots actually use Dragon Frame, and those are like the best in my opinion. Like the most detailed stick bot animation was probably like somewhere in Off the Grid. I
Yeah.
remember Off the Grid was I don't know about the spinoff. I didn't watch a spinoff. I forgot it. I forgot about it because it was I was working. Like I kept on work. I couldn't even watch anything at the time because I've been filming these 2 episodes, 4 and 5, back to back,
Hmm.
and they're taking really long to get out. I got 4 out, and 5 is like, I think 5 is like 2 minutes so far.
Will the cat appear in the show?
Yeah, yeah, my cat. Oh my god. Well, watch. It's gonna be the finale episode, the
Yeah,
final episode of the
the
series,
the
and
true battle.
yeah, she's gonna be a big bad behind it all.
What is the from this? This is a question about the monsters from Stigmation, which is, what are some of the names of the species of the monsters?
Yikes! I did not even name them, did I? I remember I named the first one, like the one that I'm using right now, and like the one from that community post from season one. I named them, but I forgot his name. They had a species name, and I believe the dimension was named too, but I never actually mentioned it.
Is the dimension as in like the Himalaya type place?
Yeah, the
Okay.
snow place.
Would we maybe see a return of the red stickbot in the lighthouse? I guess he's dead, but
Yeah, he's dead.
okay.
Uh, who knows? In the spin-off, I'm definitely gonna dive more into the unknown because I have so much plot holes from the original series, and then I have like the in the season four. I got the original members, Mick, Harris. I didn't name the other two yet because I'm not done scripting, but it's gonna be five of them, or no, there's four of them, and they have some sort of connection with like that dimension and everyone who was kind of like camping out there, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be more into like if I would do a spinoff, I'd probably just like explain everything there.
This is from that channel with everything. How did you get the motivation to continue after 6 years of making the show? And did you have it all planned out from the start?
Oh my god, yeah, 5 years of five parts. I think ever since I started, it was the first like I actually didn't even mean to upload the first one to YouTube. I was sitting, I think I was just sitting down and I just realized that I actually did create a YouTube channel like way back and I'm like, "Oh wait, this is how you upload stuff." And it was just sitting in my video files
Hmm.
and it uploaded episodes 1, 2 and 3 and I think I uploaded 4
And that was in
and
like 2019.
yeah, I think I uploaded them in 2019, but I made them in 2018. And I'm like, holy crap, these actually stay. Because I didn't have any idea on how to actually use, like, my baby toddler mind. I didn't have any idea on how to actually upload YouTube videos, and I just found out. So ever since, I just kept on putting them out, even though they weren't even getting that much views. I just put them out for, like, my own. I think I was, like, doing animation practice at the time, because each one, the animation would kind of, like, a little bit get better, and then there was, like, a decrease and then an increase. And then season two, because I knew I was gonna like, I love stop motion personally, so I knew I was just gonna. Well, at the time, this wasn't a fully stop motion channel, which we don't talk about. I
Oh,
kind of
that's the
deleted all
game. That's
the
the
other.
gaming.
Yeah, yeah, we don't talk about the other stuff that was on this channel. So I kind of wanted it to be mostly like stop motion. So I just kept on putting five parts up because Stickbot was like just so recognizable. And at the time, I did not even have access to Clay, so I just kept on putting out five parts episodes. And by the time I was done with season two, I knew that I really wanted to do a season three because season two, like the final episode of season two, just looked so much better than the final episode of season one. And then I did season three, and then season two was supposed to take place like in the fall or summer or something. And I was like, I got like white poster board at the time. And I was like, wait, this could be a winter season. So I came up with the concept, and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely doing a season three. And then season three's final episode came out, and it was just like too. It was like too far from there. I knew I had to do one more season for season four.
So the spin-off, if there were to be a fifth season, the spin-off would be the fifth season. Would it like kind of, you were saying, it would it focus mainly on the crew prior to our current crew with Jason?
Oh, so you mean like Mick, the guy
Yeah,
who
would
lives in
it
the clock
focus
tower?
on yeah, would it focus on their crew?
Yeah, I think I would have it focus on them.
Do you think it'd be like a prequel?
Yeah, it would definitely be a prequel. I don't know if I'd better like do a Better Call Saul style like
Okay.
prequel sequel, like have it be a prequel and then slowly ease into being a sequel and have like the events at because I know season four. You watch Avengers End. Everyone's seen Avengers
Yeah.
Endgame. Um, I'm probably gonna do like a whole entire Endgame style finale for season four. I don't know. It might even be split into two parts. That's gonna take me forever to film. I want to do like this whole entire like end battle for season four, and I know how I kind of have an idea on how it's gonna end. I don't want to confirm anything yet because I still have to get the final concept down for it, and after that, I don't know if I were to have the story continue or how to get it to continue in some sort of way. But I'd probably have some sequel elements like after the events of season 4. At the end of like, I'd probably have it in the final season of the spinoff. I don't know how much seasons I'd have the spinoff run for. Probably like 3 or 4 seasons again. It would definitely run for like 4 or 5 seasons. Probably same amount.
Would you consider like take like licensing out the five parts IP to people in that like they make their own spin-offs even if it's not canon?
Oh shoot, yeah, I would love that because there's something so like satisfying, especially at this point because I know I haven't struck gold yet, but it's like when you see, it's like I don't even know why I had like the disclaimer in the description. I kind of like wanted to type something that would just get picked up by the algorithm. So I typed that and it was like, now looking back at it, I just copy and pasted it. So yeah, I would just let anyone kind of like use the IP as long as they don't just re-upload clips from the
Yeah.
main series. Yeah, especially when I'm done with the two stories. Especially if it's not canon. Yeah, I would definitely have that type of stuff.
Did you get into claymation after Stickbots?
Yes. Claymation was also a Christmas gift, I think, because I was asking for clay and I was still doing like 5 parts at the time. And I think it was in season 2, I think, was when I first started like putting a little bit of clay into 5 parts. I know I was having separate claymation things coming out, and I started using clay for like little effects in 5 parts, and then I started making the monsters out of clay because I think they were made out of like this paper cardboard material, and I think I actually used like I used so much weird things in a season 1 monster, like when I was first doing season 1. Because in season 4 I just dissected though because I don't know why I kept them. I got so lucky that I kept them, and I dissected them and put wire and stuff in them. I got wire and clay
Which is how you were able
for
to get that fight.
Christmas. Yeah, yeah. I got wire and clay for Christmas, and that's when I first started doing claymation stuff.
So would you say that the claymation is now going to be like the focus, or will after the spin-off, if season 5, if you make it, will claymation be the main part of your channel, or will it be like, uh, will you still do stickbots after this?
Oh yeah, I think I would still do stick bots because it's like there's always that it almost feels like only natural to do stick bots, but clay is definitely gonna take over in some sort of way because I have short films and stuff, and that was gonna be my main focus in 2022, but it ended it off in like Halloween, and I think I'm gonna do more after probably because I know I'm gonna do this thing where I think after episode 6 of season 4 it's gonna you know how Stranger Things has like a volume 1 and volume 2.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna like take a break from season 4 for a little bit and then split it up into the finale phase, which would be 6, 7, and 8, and probably 8 part 2 if it's that long.
Okay.
And after that, I'm definitely gonna have stickbot stuff coming out. Like I'm thinking of doing after the spinoff, probably just branching out from 5 parts or not even like doing 5 parts and just making a whole entire other stickbot series.
Would you have it? Would you have it based off of a show, or do you think you'd want it to be like completely original?
I probably have it original. I thought of this thing. I forgot. I don't even know what the concept was, but I was like just drawing one day, and I was just trying to think what else I could do with stickbots. And I had this weird like universal like I think it was supposed to be like a multiverse series or something, and it was gonna follow this one stickbot. Like it was gonna start out similar to 5 parts. Like it was gonna follow one stickbot for the first like episode, and he was just gonna have like this normal life, and I think it was gonna be like a multiverse thing. But I didn't do it because I was still doing season 4, and then like Marvel did it, and it was just like so cliche. So I'm still thinking of like a concept I could do after 5 parts.
Would you make a reference to five parts in it? Do they take place in the
I
same
probably,
universe?
I don't know about taking place in the same universe, but I'd probably have some sort of reference to 5 parts because it was like the first Stickbot series on my channel.
When do you know the exact date of when five parts like came out, or like the month of it, like when you made it?
I think I could guess. I could guess by watching it. I know it was summer of 2018. It had to be summer of 20. I think it was like it was either fall of 2018 or summer of 2018 because I remember it was still like warmish outside, and I know it was 2018 for a fact because I had that video for such a long time. And then the lighthouse when I got the lighthouse, that was sometime in August when I came back from Florida, and I got that from going to Florida.
I like how you've kind of like throughout the series, like at first it was like they just somehow like they crammed them into the lighthouse, but now in season 4 it's like a lot more accurate to scale being used in like distant shots and stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was watching the old season recently, and I was just having trouble watching it because I'm like, why is like I just realized how big like Logan was compared to the scale of the lighthouse. He was like it was like two of him would be taller than the lighthouse. So I just put the lighthouse on an actual like ocean because I'm not even sure if I had an ocean there. It was like in a field in season 1. So I put it out in an actual ocean, and I put it so if I were to ever do close up shots with the lighthouse again, it would definitely be towering over the stick bots.
What is do you prefer stickbots over clay from Leopold?
Yikes.
Which one
I
is
think it's like a mixture of both, but clay, uh I think I kind of prefer the clay. Like, I have this thing called Witless Show, and that I think is my only other show other than Five Parts because Five Parts is just so like it's almost satisfying to animate stick bots because I have this like glass plate and like when you it's just like stick bots are I prefer to animate stick bots over clay, but I prefer making clay videos over making stick bot videos. If that makes sense.
yeah.
Because like yeah, the clay is just so hard to keep the characters in that same condition when you start out because when you move them after like 200 frames, the arms start breaking. I made this short not short, it was an episode of Witless show called Beach Day, and that was probably my best clay animation because I had to rig them throughout the whole thing. And I had to every single movement I would have to take them off the rig and then smooth out their arms and then put them back on. So clay definitely is harder than stickbots, but stickbots so much more easy to animate.
Have you considered using clickbots in 5 parts or anything?
Clickbots. Oh yeah, I was not gonna use clickbots in 5 parts. I would probably do like a because I was gonna keep it like stickbot would probably be like the normal like version. Like I think how big are clickbots? They're like I
They're
forgot if they tower over stickbots or not.
just a little
They're
bit,
like
I
almost
think.
more. Yeah, they're like action figure size almost. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure if I would use them because they would look. If I were to use them, I would use them in a whole entire different series. I think they're easier to animate though, or not easier, but they're just like they have like more things you could do with them than the stick bots.
yeah,
Like you know when you get the unlucky stick bot that like his arm you try moving it up, but then it just won't go up all the way and
yeah. You
it
have to
just goes
twist.
straight back down. Yeah, fun fact about Mick, his suction cups on his feet, they suck. You could put water on them and stick them to glass, and one will never actually gain suction. So his foot will always look like one is closer to the ground than the other. Like in a car scene, I had to hide his feet, I think, because like he wouldn't stick to the glass plate that I originally had him on.
I think that's like the version that's the in like 2019 they changed the plastic and stuff to save costs, and that specific set that you have I think is the version 2 where they changed the plastic including the cups. So that might be why it's not sticking. I had one where I had like a same issue but it was like a bronze stick bot and I literally like taped him to my desk so he wouldn't fall over.
Oh my god, I can picture my no. I think in season Oh my god, I think I did this in season 1. I think at some point in season 1 or season 2, I got blue Play-Doh out of all colors. I got blue Play-Doh and put it to Jason, and I just weighed down him because like his suction cups were completely totaled. I forgot how they got like so chewed up and stuff, and I just got a bunch of blue Play-Doh and like surround his legs with it and just had him walk. Like his, and I remember the legs wouldn't even move when they originally walked. They just kind of glide, right? I think they glid, like they were just gliding all
Ice
over the
skates.
place in season 1. Yeah, they looked like they were on roller skates.
All right, this is so. Are you aware of Live with Sebastian?
Wait, I'm not sure if I am, but I think that I like wait what like it's like one of those things where you can't really
It sounds
remember.
familiar.
Yeah. Sounds familiar, like you watched it, but you never actually looked who made it.
So it was like
You just
a
remember like watching.
yeah the in so it was made by Sebastian Movie Studios and it was basically uh old show that's now gone but it was an interviewing show where they interviewed stickbot stuff and they had the
Yeah.
same questions each time, but it was a really good thing. So I wanted to steal one of the questions from there, and I wanted to ask you, which is, who is your favorite stickbot creator or sticktuber or biggest inspiration in that sense?
Okay, first I was thinking of saying Moonshine Animations, but that was after a while I think Moonshine like started feeling a little bit more brandable or like branded because it was just like every single new stickbot that would come out would always be in like the new like off the grid or something, or be like the new like it would almost feel like an advertisement at some points.
That's interesting.
I th- yeah, I think okay, what was it? It was this. I think it's still going on, but there's like this stickbot thing. Uh, it was in my recommendeds. It's like this action series. I remember seeing the Imposter series. I did see that.
Was that a big inspiration for Five Parts?
I would say I watched it and saw the animation. And I'm like, holy crap, this animation is actually really good. And I think that was an inspiration for me to start actually getting more into the hang of more fluid stickbot animations to make them feel more like actual alive characters. Because I remember in season 3, there'd be a lot of still shots where they weren't really moving. But then when you watch those stickbot animations made by different creators, the stickbots would always be moving like in some sort of like way. They like their heads would move or like they'd almost have like what you call like an idle animation almost.
Yeah, they yeah, I know when the Imposter came out, a lot of people were like praising it because it they were always talking or moving or like the slightest head turn or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do in season 4 because I think that newest episode, the animation is taking so long to do because I always try having them move because it's gonna start with an action sequence. I'm gonna try getting it to be right off of where season 4 episode 4 ended, and I'm trying to do an action sequence that is just always moving with no still shots, and it's really you have to praise people who just get that just right because it takes so long.
I hate like I don't know why, but I really don't like freeze frames. So sometimes I'll just like hold down the button on Dragon Frame, set it to like 100 frames, and then just walk away.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I have it set to 100 frames, and something I'm not gonna do anymore is the warp. Like I have the editor. Wait, what editor is this? Okay, I use this editor, and you could like take like a scene that was filmed like in 24 FPS. That's like 2 seconds, and then make the speed really like slow, and then turn on like optical flow, which like creates like almost like fake frames, and it looks kind of weird if you look at it like really just look at it, but it makes it almost look like it's moving slower or always moving. But I'm gonna stop using it even though it's gonna be harder. But yeah, I in other words I just take like the dragon frame freeze frame and like put it all the way up to 60, and I'm like, yeah, that will do. That makes the episode a bit longer.
What do you use to edit your videos besides Dragon Frame and stuff?
How what do I use to edit my videos?
Yeah.
Uh I think I'm using Premiere right now. I don't know if it's Premiere or yeah, it's Premiere. I don't know what version it is, but it took so long cuz I was number 24. I was animating for the first time, and that was like one of my claymation short films, and that's when I first got in using like a computer editor, and it was so like alien almost because it like tablet editors and like mobile editors, they're just so straight to the point, drag the video and like change the side and like just probably like put a filter on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's so much more stuff like tools, effects, and there's no like stock footage effects anymore, so you kind of have to do everything yourself, which I actually now prefer over like the stock effects.
Yeah, then you can control it more. You can like create your own effects basically.
Yeah, the lightning takes forever, and that I think that's what I'm still on right now. The lightning effect takes so long, but it's worth it when you actually get it done. And same with the rigging out with masking, when because in season 4, episode 4, I don't know if you want to include this in a video, but I'm gonna
Sure.
get Let's see if I can take a screenshot of this and send it to you.
Okay.
This whole entire scene right here is rigged. Let's see if I can send it here. This whole entire scene is rigged, and Jason is actually rigged from his head right now. I had to like every frame. I had to get the rig and cut it out for every frame, and it was like 100 frames.
That sounds horrible.
It does, but it's worth it in the end, especially when you especially when the scene's really fast, or it's just like there'll be like a break from that scene, and then you'll do something similar again, and it just almost seems like it was really well put together, even though you're just like rigging the whole thing.
So is this the one that you added the wire to make it like more articulated? The monster?
Oh yeah, the monster that I added the season 2 monster with 4 arms and the season 1 monster. I took them apart. I used an X-Acto blade and cut open their limbs. That sounds really gruesome. And I stuffed wire in like their joints and stuff, and I had to replace the season 1 monsters back with clay because I couldn't even put the cardboard back on. So now they're almost like action figures. They can bend in different ways. I won't count them as like claymation, but yeah, that's I put wire inside. It's like really thin wire though, so you have to replace it sometimes because when you make them do like really big movements, sometimes the wire just gets really flimsy and can't support like their body weight anymore.
I noticed the feet were like very flat for that kind of stability, right?
Oh yeah. I and think I forgot. I think I did this in episode 4, but I just redid the right foot for the first monster, and I made it look more like an actual foot because originally it was like a popsicle stand, or it was like a little circular piece of cardboard. And now I just have the monster rigged. I have him rigged from the back, and he doesn't even really need to stand up on his own anymore. Even though he could, and I do have him standing up on his own in some scenes, I have him like walking and running all rigged, so it just looks so much better. I think my favorite thing about season 4, I know this isn't a question, but like my favorite thing
Mm.
about season 4 right now and season 3 are the sets. Like I for the really detailed sets, the clock tower, the warehouse, which took like a whole entire 2 months just to build the warehouse, and the diner, which is I think my favorite as of right now. I asked my dad to help me with all those, and he will like I'll go like, okay, it can be really simple because it's steak pot, and then he'll be like, okay, and then he'll like grab paint like, oh wait, no, they need chairs, oh wait, no, the chairs need creases, and then like for the clock tower he'll be like, oh wait, we need to paint this thing, no, we need this to be actual scale, and then we'll be working on it for a month and it'll all pay off.
So how long did it take to build, like, how on average, how long would you say it takes to build those sets? Like the clock tower and stuff.
Depending on yeah, the clock tower was, oh my god, I think that was like a month, because it's like a wait, it's almost waiting because you're like when you paint it, you have to wait for the pieces to dry, and it's like it's really messy too because like when you cut poster board, which is what I use for like the hedges and stuff, that stuff gets
Flakes
everywhere, and you have
every
to like be really organized. The more organized you are, the faster the sets take to build. But like big sets like the diner, that takes a couple of days because you need to actually plan it out and let stuff dry and sit.
That's really cool that your dad was helping build the sets though.
Yeah, he's like every single time you see a really good set in 5 parts, just know, yeah, that was technically your dad that built
Okay.
that. Because he'll look at it and he's like, no, this thing needs to be 1-to-1 scale.
Will we ever meet Dean, the owner of the diner?
Oh yeah, a little funny thing. That was actually a reference to this show that I was watching with my brother and my dad. It was Supernatural. I think everyone has heard of
Oh,
Supernatural once, and that show came
yeah.
out in 2000. Yeah, that show came out in 2005, and there's okay, so the Dean and Sam, or Sam and Dean, the main two characters of that um show, they would like just go around hunting things like monsters and stuff, and Dean would always like every single time they go like at the beginning of an episode, they would like go to a diner or something, and Dean would always get pie, and Sam would always get like really healthy foods like lettuce and stuff. So since it came out in 2005, and I'm like, wow, that show was like because I watched the whole entire like thing like a couple of months. I watched it over quarantine, and it just like it was so good watching it like back to back like episodes, like 2 episodes per night. So we put that like reference in there, and we made like Dean's Diner a pie place just because the character Dean likes pie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I actually do have that little joke in there with Mick eating the salad. Yeah.
What do you know the kind of car that they drive to Pennsylvania?
The kind of car that was I don't even know what type of car that was. I remember I actually have that. That's an actual like usually I use images for that stuff or like Blender models. But that was actually something that was I have a red truck which I used for the antagonist for season 3 and I have that purple car and I don't even know what type of car it is. I use that for the stick bots because I used it in season 3 and I'm like I could bring it back for season 4 because like I think I had this weird personal thing where I would kind of map out the stick bot universe where everyone kind of just walks to places and if you're lucky you have a car. It's like because you
Hmm.
never actually see stick bots in cars or like cars driving by in 5 parts, but I kind of transitioned to the world being more realistic with actual background characters and cars and stuff.
New Jersey is just like this separate place where there's no cars.
Yeah.
Everywhere else.
It's weird. It's weird. I'm trying to transition it in Storm. Okay, this is kind of a little bit of spoiler, but like I'm mapping out how I'm actually gonna do the most realistic, terrifying thunderstorm or hurricane type storm that I want to come in like a future episode. I'm trying to map out how I want to do a storm because I know the stick bots are gonna. It's gonna be really hard to film because I'm gonna need to like damp them or get them wet for like long
You
scenes.
gotta get a spray bottle.
Especially like, yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a really good idea. Why didn't I think of that?
The yeah.
Plagiarism. I'm stealing that from you.
All right, I'll let you do it.
um, yeah. So, I think season the okay with the town and stuff. I wanted the town to feel like more realistic, but I know there's actually going to be. I'm going to explain a reason why the town is going to be really, really empty by the end of season 4, and there's going to be outer towns that are more like crowded with people. Because I know I show a different like area in 5 parts, other than New Hampshire, at the beginning of episode 2, and that's where Storm first actually hits, and that's where his coworker, Logan's coworker, is trapped in like this forest area of like I think it was
The
an abandoned
snowy.
like structure that was like cracked and stuff, and that's where the storm like first shows up. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna have the storm look like that because it was like the colors were so saturated it didn't really look realistic. Now looking back at it, so I'm gonna try getting the storm to be really realistic, and I'm gonna have to like nail it with lighting and stuff.
Will it be very hard, like what you were saying earlier, with all the like it'll take a long time to render all that stuff?
Oh yeah, it's gonna take a long time, and I'm playing the video like to see if everything worked. It's gonna take a long time to actually watch it too.
The so you were saying that you were using like Blender models. So do you incorporate? I noticed you were like, I like how you incorporate all the like the different backgrounds and you kind of like cut them all and like kind of put them back together along with the actual sets. So do you do that too with the 3D models?
I want to, but me and Blender are like worst enemies, like
Okay.
because like Blender confuses me so much. The only time I actually used Blender was with the cars from the newest episode, parked outside the diner. That was Blender,
Oh, that
and
was really good.
my brother, yeah, my brother does all Blender stuff. And I'm like, how the heck do you even use Blender? It's like when you move, it just confuses me. It makes my brain hurt. And I want to replace all like the stock backgrounds I'm using. Like I'm using like JPEGs and PNGs, like transparent trees and stuff for the backgrounds, and it looks good, especially for like when I blur the background. But pretty soon I want to start using Blender backgrounds, and that's gonna look better.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And then you can kind of tune it to like your ability, like what you really want for the scene, and then you could. But then it's like you get into this state where now you're animating like not only like physically, but now you're also animating in Blender because it's like cause and effect. If
Yeah,
you
exactly. Because it's gonna be like a hybrid animation almost. Yeah, I'm trying to just slowly learn Blender, but I don't spend enough time on it because I know like to really learn a software, you just need to spend a lot of time on like you need to know basic stuff and then spend a lot of time using it and then you just start getting the hang of it to the point where it just becomes natural.
would you say that how long it what Dragon Frame version do you use?
Okay, so I got really lucky. When I purchased Dragon Frame for the first time, it was August or April. I think it was August. And they said everyone who got Dragon Frame 4 before May or March, I think it was May, after May, gets a free license for Dragon Frame 5. So
Oh
right
my
now, okay,
god.
so I was using Dragon, yeah, I got Dragon Frame 5 just for the ending or like the middle of the episode of season 4, episode 4. So if you go back to episode 4 and watch the beginning, right after you see the road texture change because I got like tar paper to do the roads instead of like poster board, as soon as the roads change, that's when I'm using Dragon Frame 5.
Okay.
So right now I'm currently using Dragon Frame 5 because I got lucky and they just gave me a free license for it.
I know they yeah, with the most annoying part about Dragon Frame to me is that once they work on like once they work on like once they introduce Dragon Frame 5, they're never going to update 4 again.
Oh yeah, that's pretty annoying. I remember they rolled out a little bit of updates to 4, right? I think it was 2022 because like being honest, the updates that actually get rolled out are really small because if you look at Dragon Frame 5, it's like the same thing except like the blue is a different color on the logo and everything is just kind of like laid out differently or not differently, but
Yeah, they fix like a
everything's just
couple
like
bugs.
it doesn't really like there's no really like there's no animation advantage or feature advantage because season well, let's say season what um it just has like the same exact features except like a little bit of bug fixes. I'm not sure if it has anything new yet. So everything you could do with Dragon Frame 4, you could do with Dragon Frame 5.
That I feel thank you for telling me that. I feel much more less FOMO.
Yeah.
I remember when
I
Dragon
think
Frame 4
like
launched and there was this server I was in, and everyone there was like 5 people who spent like $300 in one day.
oh my god. Yeah, Dragon Frame is definitely like I feel like Dragon Frame 4 is probably still gonna be like Studios' number one option because you know Leica Studios, Aardman, they all use 4 still. Like on they're doing like a sequel to Chicken Run, like and they're still using Dragon Frame 4 to film that. They're
Yeah, it'd
still
be
using
weird if
4.
they switched over because it like might corrupt files or something.
Yeah. Actually, it didn't corrupt. Well, I think I'm not sure if the files even I think I reason I got Dragon Frame 5 was because the resolution for some reason broke on my Dragon Frame 4 and I was panicking so I was like please am I eligible to get Dragon Frame 5 for free because that was like my last hope because I did not know how to get the resolution to go back because it was like not cropped properly.
Have you seen have you seen the reaction done by Sulfur Core to 5 parts? I think he did one.
I think that was the first time. Yeah, I saw that. And that was the first time I noticed that 5 parts actually got traction. I was like, what? Is this real?
Yeah.
Is this a mistype? And then I watched it. I was like, yeah, I remember because I talked to him because he was like, do I have permission to show this? And I was like, yeah. And it was like, well, in your description, it said like something about not being able to use the name 5 parts in any of your videos. I'm like, I go back to my description. I'm like, why the heck is that there? Did I put that? That's me. Like, yeah, but yeah, anyone could react to 5 parts, and that was probably like one of the best weeks ever. And the cool thing is, when he was talking about it, like talking about reacting, I was like in another museum. Like it was like I think it
And you
was
saw
stop motion.
another
It was
stick bot.
yeah, it was I was going to a Leica museum at the time where he was getting into reacting to it. I think it was the day he reacted to it, or when he was asking if he could react to it. I was going to a Leica museum, and they were like, I was like, no way, this thing has traction.
You should have a museum on 5 parts.
Oh yeah, imagine that'd be so cool. I would have to get that funded by Stickbot though. They'd be like, no way. All like I know on the Stickbot boxes, they actually do sponsor off the grid. I don't know on the new boxes what they do because like that was when I first got Stickbot, off the grid was actually still going on. I think
Yeah,
they were just I think it was the final season of the first one. Or am I totally wrong? Wait, when did
I
they
think
end off the grid? Season 1 or
I think
season
it
the 6?
2018.
They ended on 6.
I
Yeah,
think
I think it was just when it was ending and all the Stickbot boxes had like off the grid on it,
they
and I
still
was
have it
like,
on the
whoa.
boxes.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, these things have like full on sponsored series.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I think if they were allowed to allow me to do like a sponsored series, I'd probably have to tone down the violence.
I think you could totally yeah, do that. While I love Zinc and stuff, I think your stuff would definitely beat their current productions.
Yeah. I am gonna try. Especially for the new series I'm really excited for because it's gonna be the first time I get to start off a Stickbot series without it being like starting out at a certain quality and then going into like a really good quality. It's gonna start out good quality and get like even better.
That is okay, so with the first season, like that was kind of like establishing the characters and stuff. And then the
Oh
second
yeah, for
season,
sure.
that was like really getting like the new camera. And then the third season was probably like really improving animation. And what would you say the fourth
Yeah.
season is? Is that like sets and stuff?
I think fourth season is sets and story, because the
Okay.
fourth season is where I'm actually making sure there's zero plot holes, and I want the finale for the fourth season to be like the best thing I have ever done. Because
Did
I think that right now, actually no, it was when I was doing the finale for season three, I was so locked in. I wanted it to be the best thing that I ever done like with stop motion. So for season four, I'm gonna make sure season four relies on story, well, not really animation, even though the animation is getting better. Story and probably some special effects in there. Editing, story, and probably sets.
I really liked how you incorporated all of the um I liked how you made like the specific like the lab, the way you did the foam on that, where it was kind of popping out of the windows and stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah, I have this. I always kept that style, even though I can make the lab really realistic now, and all those outdoor sets. My dad asked me about this too. He's like, "Why are the windows on a diner like still black, even though there's supposed to be people inside?" And I just kind of kept like that almost cardboard or homemade style to it because like stickbot animations, even with off the grid, you could tell that they're using cardboard, but it just fits into the style of like stickbot, and it just like when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, this is like a signature style. It's almost like how Lego, like you could definitely tell it's Lego bricks and not like an actual background.
There's this
So it's like, yeah.
you could someone joined the Stickbot server recently. He was a former employee and posted this, which was a canceled show, and it was making me think of what we're talking about. It has like that same kind of cardboard s style, and it kind of reminds me like similar set, um, like how the streets are built, similar to Five Parts.
Oh yeah, the streets. So in season four's opening, that was the first time I actually did a new neighborhood shot that wasn't just like a bunch of boxes lined up. And I got the houses. The houses were more realistic, and I actually got like an actual. That thing was so hard to film. It was like falling off the table, and I tried making it still look like you could tell the houses were like paper and cardboard, except it had more of a shape to it. So yeah, and it was laid out almost exactly like this. There was still like unrealistic things like how the house's driveways would be like walkways at the same time, but it just fits in the stick bus style, I think.
Yeah. How long did it take you to build that set? Because that was like because that was like one of the first shots in the season. I think that really like I think that was a really good choice of first shots. It really shows the improvement and stuff.
Yeah. I think um the first day I started working on that set, it was like just like a couple houses, and I'm like, okay, I just need to build four houses or five houses, and then the set will be over. And then as eased into it, I'm like, no, this thing needs to be like really really big. So I started making the roads actual stickbot scale, because like in season three, the roads were really unrealistically scaled. Like if there was a car, it would be like a one lane street. So I made the roads bigger, and I'm like, wait, the houses aren't big enough. So I made the houses bigger, and it took me, I would say roughly 4 days to do the neighborhood.
Wow, that the how was it like a huge set? Like it took up your entire table?
Yeah, it took up. It was almost the same size as the warehouse. The warehouse is still the biggest set till this day. That
Okay.
thing was so big that the lights were actually hanging from the ceiling just to get the lighting perfect.
That scene
But yeah, that
was
was, yeah. That's what.
I think that I think the hanging from the ceiling probably is what gave that helped the effect. That was like a that scene I think is like one of the top like stickbot scenes of all time. Like the way that was constructed, like you really did get that moonshine ambient style.
Oh yeah, the dark style. Season 3, I think my favorite scene was the warehouse, and what else did I have in season 3? I think it was just the warehouse and the abandoned shop, which I made myself. My dad helped me make the warehouse. Actually, he technically built the whole entire thing. I was like duplicating things like the crates. That took so long. The crates were like, oh my god, we have to cut the popsicle sticks, and we'd have to make sure everyone's the same size. Then we'd have to cut the thin ones, and then we have to cut corner thin ones to make it look like rounded and then nailed together. And oh my god, we have to make enough to fill up both sides because there was two shelves and a lot of boxes and stuff to put in them. And I would have to make it look randomized each time, so we would have to make so many of that.
How many boxes did you make?
We made, I think, four, no, not four, like six or four um of the rectangle ones, and then I think four square ones or three square ones. And then I filled up the rest of the shelves with electrical stuff and like these little painted window shade holders that just kind of looked like something.
Will we see more of that diner in the future, the abandoned one, or would you say that is a
Oh, oh, you mean most foods and goods, like
yeah?
the store? I actually, if I were to do that, I would have to rebuild the place because I think when I was filming season 4, at the beginning of each season, I go underneath my table and I throw out anything that I don't think I'll use again. And I think I threw out the original thing because like the paper was all torn up. But that thing is really easy to build. It's really, really easy to reconstruct that if you're not showing outside. But yeah, I think if I were to do or another one of that another scene in that location, it would be like an exclamation scene or like what happened with the machine or something like that.
Yeah, like a flashback sort of.
Yeah.
The satellite sled. I think that might be one of that one and the $400,000 house. I think those are my two favorite jokes in the series, where they get on the sled and they just start screaming.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love the filming that scene. That was so because my camera was tilted and that was like optical illusion. I love filming that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's tilted. It looks really good.
Yeah. That was like I think that's like everyone's favorite scene in the series that I know who watched it. That's everyone's favorite scene.
That it.
And yeah, that was probably the funnest scene to film because that one was just like it doesn't really matter how much frames you make, like each frame just makes it look better. So it's just like really satisfying to make that scene.
What was the hardest scene to film?
The hardest scene to film was the I think actually if we were going right now, it's probably where I am right now. It's the fight or the escaping the woods with the monster. And prior to that, it would be the fight with Dr. Rawlings and Jason
Okay.
in the season 3 finale. That scene was so hard because there was
I love
so
the
much
beach
going on.
scene.
There was so much going on. The beach scene.
That was like a
Oh
highlight for me.
yeah. All I think I also started off season 4 with the beach. I think
Oh,
I don't know what my obsession with beaches are. I have this short film, which is probably like my best video on my channel. That's animated, which came out a year ago, number 24, and that had an ending beach scene. But then I decided to make 5 parts because 5 parts has a lighthouse, so that has a beach as well. And then I go on the Witless show, making a whole entire episode that takes place at the beach. So I just have a bunch of beach stuff on my channel for
do you
some reason.
the light? There's another lighthouse in the like snowy mountains, right? That's where the red
Oh
stick
yeah,
ball
that's
was.
actually I am not done with that part of the story. That is gonna
Okay.
be explained. I think they're going back there actually.
Do you like
And no more
lighthouses?
spoilers, but they're going back there. That was in season 3 and introduced in season 2.
Okay.
I think it was it was in season 3. I think it was when they got sent back to that dimension for like that almost like that vision scene. They were back at that same location, but I think I'm gonna have that in the spin-off and at the end of season 4.
Which lighthouse is more important to the story?
Right now it's the one in the normal dimension.
Okay.
This like sandstone one.
Would you consider making a wiki for it? the 5 parts as a whole.
Making a wiki for that would actually be a really cool idea. But I would have to fill in plot holes that I have from past things, like
Okay.
characters that went unnamed.
Oh, like
Because I know.
the guy who wants to take you to the shop, uh, and he's like making the food in season
Oh
two.
yeah, I remember that. That was when I first changed Jason's model, I think.
Yeah.
And he came in the same pack because all these Jason, the new model I'm using for Logan, the new model I'm using for Andrew, and the dark green stick bot and the red stick bot, they all came separately all the way from the UK, all the way from like
Oh, you shipped them from the
London or
UK?
whatever. Yeah, they got shipped from the UK, and they took so long to come. It took like because they were supposed to be a Christmas gift, and then they came all the way like in March, I think,
Did
or
they?
April, and I decided to change Jason's model to the new blue stick bot, and I had that green stick bot. I'm like, ooh, look, new character, and I just kind of had him for like a background character almost. But he really doesn't serve anything to his story. But I think he does have a name. I forgot what his name is. I would have to go back on my
Shop guy?
old computer and look at the script. Actually, he might be in the final episode of season 4 because I'm gonna show. I think for the final fight that's gonna take place like everywhere. It's like I have the final fights in each season take place in one location, but this one is just gonna be like it's gonna be everywhere. It's gonna be like the whole entire like town.
The
So I think
oh,
all the characters are gonna have to be involved in some way.
how would you? How big do you think that set's gonna be? Are you gonna like kind of repeat the same buildings, or like what are you gonna do for that?
Oh my god, yeah, that I think I'm gonna have to make sure to be wise with my shots, but because I don't want to do a thing where I repeat the same buildings, because I want I want the final season to just be really huge in the finale. So I'd probably have like different houses, and when I'm done using one house, I'll probably have to like totally destroy it and like rebuild it to make it look like a different house,
Yeah.
and make sure I don't go back to that location. Um, I'll probably do also open shots that aren't on any streets, like on the beach probably, and probably like at Jason's old house, like in a forest and stuff.
It appears that we have run out of questions. But if there's anything you wanna say or yeah promote your claymation stuff, would you? What was the origin of like the series with who is the dog fella in the
Oh my god, yeah, a Witless show.
yeah.
Okay, so um Ed and Tyler. Okay, so Ed's like the human and Tyler's like the dog. Oh no, no, wait, did I just get that mixed up into my own characters?
I
Oh shoot.
think
Ed is the dog and
okay.
Tyler's the human, and I called it Witless show. And one day I was just like, I needed another series on this channel, and I was like fiddling around with claymation, and I was like, I need a running, almost sitcom styled series that takes place in a horrible, crappy apartment with two just really strange characters or specimens that live there. So I had a dog and Tyler, which is the human, and they have like they're like the most low life like their couch is all torn up, their fridge is like covered in dirt. And I think the origin of that is one day I knew that my channel needed something that would just be forever running, that wouldn't have like a real like deep in story that would have to end. So this thing could probably just run forever. So when I don't have a video idea, I'll just do another Witless episode, and I'll probably have like the beach day was probably my best animation so far, other than the new episode of 5 parts that's still coming out.
I like the scene where he's on the board in the water.
Oh yeah, that the surfing scene was so fun to film, and I actually take an element from the surfing scene and put it in 5 parts with the rig because that's all rigged, but it's different because he's not actually on the surfboard. Like how I have Jason gets in the fight, he's gonna be getting like picked up by the monster, but he's not actually being picked up. He's rigged, and then the monster is like holding nothing in the actual shot, but then I just kind of stink it up, and it looks really like real.
Yeah, you have to. It's is it hard for you to do that in Premiere, or like to kind of do you do it like frame by frame, where you move Jason in his hands?
Oh yeah, I have to do it frame by frame.
Okay.
I actually have to use the arrow keys, and
Oh.
it works better. Little tip: if you listen to like music or like find music for the soundtrack, I just listen to like anything. So I'll look up like music that I could be using in that soundtrack. I use Scott Buckley, um, because I think I discovered him in episode 3, and I'm like, damn, like AVM, right?
I think
Animation,
so.
like
Yeah.
Alan Becker. Yeah, he uses Scott Buckley. I'm like, why is the soundtrack so good? And then I look
The
up who made it. It was Scott Buckley and his music. So if you just listen to like he has so much. He has like stuff coming out every week. So and it's like all free to use as long as like you credit him in the description. So I listen to that stuff and that makes like when you edit like those scenes where you have to do frame by frame and listen to that, it goes by so fast that you'll be done with the scene before like you even know that you'll have to actually redo the whole thing and mask it, which really is a pain.
the I watched 5 parts the entirety in voice chat, and everyone joined, and the first thing everyone was like, the intro music is so good.
Oh my god, yeah, that is actually Kane Carter. I used Kane Carter for the first season because I forgot I was watching at the time. But I'm like, yo, this music's fire, and I used it for the theme, and I chose a random part, and I chose the intro music, and it just works really iconically. And he really never actually used the intro music, so I'm like, it would just be fine to use that in 5 parts because he actually never used it and he privated it. No, he privated it and put it on a different playlist. And he said it's just free to use, just credit him. And I used it, and it just kind of became like a whole entire part. So I never really changed it, and I really like the way it kind of like aged. Oh my god, I remember when I used to screen record audio. That was such a pain.
Will we ever learn about
Uh,
your Minecraft YouTuber past?
Um, 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 um. Well, you could see little elements because if you go to channels and go to BeigePlaz 2, I have 2 Minecraft videos on there, and they're both in VR. But that is nothing. That
Vivecraft?
is not even close to what I used to be. Oh my god, I was so obnoxious. Yeah, Vivecraft.
Okay.
I
Oh,
have this show.
I like your stop motion element in this.
Oh yeah, I have like this. Oh yeah, since I'm like the stop motion, like I wanted my channel to be so based off stop motion. So I went and I'm like, I need to make a stop motion version of my Minecraft skin, and I had to update my Minecraft skin because it was like this British soldier like skeleton guy. So I updated it into this like play version of himself, and I'm like, wow, this actually looks really original. I'm not sure if any other YouTuber used it, but then making Minecraft videos does not like, it takes so long, compared to like because you have to edit like 2 hour clips
Yeah,
instead
especially if
of
it's an
animating
SMP.
like
We
it's
have
like yeah the hardcore SMP. I have more of that, but I didn't have any time because I'm kind of more locked in on 5 parts as of right now. I still can't believe it's gonna be 2 years and season 4 isn't done yet. I was supposed to complete it in 20. I know I was gonna complete it in 2024, but imagine it goes on to like 2025. Oh my
I
god.
if it goes on to 2025, it'll be worth it then.
Yeah, it would. I know I'm gonna have on my Minecraft channel. I might have more stuff on there soon. It's just like when I'm not working on stop motion, that's what I'm doing. Because if I grow 2 channels at once, I don't ever want my Minecraft one to surpass my main one though.
That
That's like
you
something,
would feel
and like
crushed.
usually you want, yeah, usually you want your main channel to do better than your second one. Because imagine you're working on stop motion videos that take forever, and then you just go and record a Minecraft video and it explodes. It surpasses your main channel.
I
And you're
think it'd
like,
be hard on your mental state.
it would. I would take a break. I'd probably delete it and go like, "Oh, guys, what's BeigePlaz 2? I don't know what that is." Yeah, I had
I
this show that I was filming with my brother. He's not gonna like bringing this up. He begged me to delete these because he deleted every video on his old channel,
oh
and he's actually working on a series right now. He's into like Blender animation. He's working on a series, and I think it's gonna be highly anticipated because he's been working on it for like 4 years and not like
oh
a
my
single,
god.
like yeah, not even a single piece of like content for that came out yet, or like actual episode came out.
Is it
And
gonna
I
be
used
like
to
five
film like
parts?
this. Yeah, he does. He actually he had a stickbot video that came out. I think he deleted it though because he deletes like every old video on his channel. I think he has like removed. And he had this stickbot series that was also like stop motion. And I think it was called Nightlight, or it was
That sounds
called
familiar.
yeah, it was a stop motion series, and it had something, it was gonna have like a really really big plot because it had something to do with like an apocalypse. It started out with like stickbot characters, um I forgot what the characters' names were. They were like driving in a car, and their dad was driving them. Because I never do that in five parts with age and stuff. I just have the stick bots be stick bots, but he had them like age and stuff, and they were like kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dad was driving them, and the car gets like flipped over, and all of a sudden like there's this monster. It's almost like five parts because there's like monsters and stuff, but it was more like a shapeshifter thing. It like had the ability, it had like different abilities and stuff, and they hid out in like this abandoned shop, and it was like this really cool apocalypse thing. And he actually put a five parts reference in it because I was filming season two at the time where he was making that, and he put the monster for season two like a little like a little part of the monster from season two. He just had him like in the background, and it was like really cool.
I would love to see
Yeah,
that. That sounds so cool.
yeah, I asked him. I asked him like if after five parts he just let me redo the first episode just as like a little fun thing. Just redo the first episode in like my style
Mm-hmm.
and like just copy it like word for word every single line.
That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, I think he might be doing more stick bot stuff because we made like a little deal. If we were like to do 50-50 on buying like a stick bot set, I would get all the shiny like silver, brown, and like bronze one, and I
And
get
he
the
gets
gold
the
one as well. And I'd let him have like the black one, the solid white one, which is like awesome. Those two stick bots are awesome, but he said he's actually planning on doing a stick bot thing in the future. I don't know when he's gonna do it because he's working on like a Blender series, and yeah, he's gonna. I think he might be doing more stick bot stuff in his future.
that would be I if you if it gets finished or anything, yeah, send it. That'd be awesome to see.
Yeah. Oh my god, I have
Oh yeah.
so much stuff because like Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff on
Oh,
my channel.
does FNAF have any connection to five parts?
Oh god, yeah, it
Five
does actually. Well,
five.
yeah, not the five, not the. I don't actually know how I thought of five. It might have, but Five Nights at Freddy's was like I would do a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's animations on the early days of my channel, and I think they're still there. But I do like a bunch of these Five Nights at Freddy's animations, and they were just like they'd have stick bots in them too. And five parts came out before all that. Actually, no. I think when I was doing stop motion, I'd actually start out with Five Nights at Freddy's and then go more into independent projects. I think five parts was my first semi-independent project. If you weren't to include Stranger Things. Stranger Things had like this really big like grasp on it though because like it's like unavoidable how much season one and two were so Stranger Things, and then season three almost with like the designs and stuff. Because I kind of kept the style and same with the flickering lights and stuff.
So you set the show is set in the mid 2000s, which I think is really cool. Would did that take any inspiration from like Stranger Things being set in the 80s?
No, that actually took inspiration
Oh, from
with the technology I used in season two and the music that I was featuring in like the type of music and stuff I was featuring in five parts and the technology I was featuring. They'd use like box TVs for some reason, and I know I was having it originally set in the time it would release, but it just didn't look like it. So I had it set in the early 2000s, and then I had this weird obsession with like early 2000s stuff. So I had, I think season three was the first time I knew I was setting it in the early 2000s, and then I actually mentioned it in season four, having it set in 2005.
I love how many like I think there are a lot of fives in five parts.
Yeah, there's a lot of fives.
I wish
I can't wait to reveal. I think okay, I'm gonna reveal the final episode of five parts is gonna be called the fifth part, pretty much, or it's gonna be the seventh episode. I think I'm gonna call the finale the fifth part
okay.
for the title of that episode,
Part
and that's gonna like
episode
go
8
all
part
into the title.
episode 8 part 2 the fifth part.
Oh my god, episode eight, part two. I can't wait to explain. I think I might explain it earlier on. It might even be in the next episode. I might just flat out explain the title. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna almost feel like an Avengers like Marvel finale. I mean, of course, when Marvel was in his prime, but like
Yeah. Marvel is definitely not in its prime anymore.
it's not. It ended with Endgame. I'm gonna try doing like this Endgame styled battle, being very careful which characters I decide make big risks and stuff.
The green shopkeeper in season 2 will save the day.
Yeah, it'll be him. And not to mention, yeah, he's the main antagonist, bro. He's the main antagonist.
Forget the
Yeah,
doctor or the scientist or forget.
oh yeah, I can't wait to wrap his story up. He's gonna probably have like the lab and stuff. We're not done with that stuff. Like that stuff is gonna be wrapped up. I think I'm gonna try doing it really perfectly. It's same with the finale. It's gonna like all come back at him, but in a smart way. And I think I might have one more flashback scene for the whole series before I do a spinoff.
Okay.
There might be one more like season 0, if you were to call it like season 0 scene.
That would be a really cool name for the.
Yeah, season 0. That should be a really cool spinoff name. I'll probably write that down.
Okay. What is your current project? 5 parts or not?
5 parts or not? I think right now I'm working on Witless Show, Haunting of Freddy's, which is not going to come out until I get the set built because that set's going to be actually made of plywood and stuff. That's like the biggest set we're building for like the next Five Nights at Freddy's thing. I'm gonna have like this music video coming out for that, and so it's just that Witless Show in 5 parts. But when 5 parts ends, Witless Show is not going to be my only Clay series anymore because I know I'm going to be doing a Clay series after that, and I don't know what the title is going to be. I just know the concept is going to have something to do with actually I don't even know. The
Okay.
concept was like it was it was very very strange. That's all I remember, but it was more normal because everything on my channel prior to 2021 was really strange. Like my first short film was just really surreal. It was like Backrooms before the Backrooms was popular.
I have to see this. I have to see this now. The
Yeah, Your Greatest Fears, I think, was the name of it. It was very strange. And I think, no, okay, in my newest short film, my last short film I ever did in claymation was called Lost Verse, and it went back to Your Greatest Fears. It takes place in the same exact universe.
hmm.
It's very, very strange, but I don't want, like, to do another series where it's that strange, like, unexplainable strange, but, like, you can get what's going on, but it's still really strange.
I love how you have this kind of
Yeah.
your claymation style kind of reminds me a little bit of Aardman.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember I used to do a thing where I'd have like the really flat like I use like a different shape for the noses. It was like a oval shape almost, like a really skinny. I really like that style because I use it again in this really short video I made. It was called like Business. Yeah, it was just Business stop motion. And I used the same style I use in Your Greatest Fears. I think those are the only 2 videos I use it in. No, I actually use it in a video called Science Fiction. Okay, so I used it in 3 videos, but I really like that style. I might do it again in my next short film.
What is the lore with Steve in Minecraft uh in
Yo.
in 5 parts?
Okay, Steve Minecraft. Steve,
If he wasn't
um,
there, it wouldn't have happened. Like the series would have not continued.
what, my question is, why did it have to be Steve? Why did I choose Steve? Because it was Steve was not supposed to be in 5 parts. He was just sitting on the net. Okay, so, oh my god, I forgot to bring this up. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but it was filmed in an entirely different room, season 1 and 2, or part of 2. I was filming it in my bedroom on a night table, and Steve just happened to be there, and I was like trying to think of something for season 2, and I'm like, Steve, come on, I'm gonna like have you get incinerated in like the first episode. It was supposed to be like a lab worker, but for some reason it was Steve. But yeah, he was had something to do with the machine backfiring because the machine still existed physically in those seasons. Those seasons I don't really consider to have really accurate lore because I feel like I can just change the story up however I please in the new seasons and make it make sense because season 3 is where I would call season 3 like season 1 and season 4 season 2 because
Yeah,
those are the 2 seasons that
main
you could like
lore.
not watch season. Yeah, you can not watch season 1 and season 2, and you could just watch season 3 and season 4, and you would not miss a thing, except like for a little bit of plot holes at the beginning of season 3.
The will we see any of the cops again? Like, oh, I guess they're all dead. But the the is that all the cops in the town or
Oh no, there's more.
okay,
Actually, I think the military's coming in the final
okay,
phase. It's gonna be really big. It's gonna be okay. So, the final phase, I might have to get even more stick bots for that because that thing is gonna be packed. It's gonna be like an actual war. There's gonna be like a bunch of different monsters that you haven't
Annihilation.
seen before, a bunch of different stick bots, and it's gonna be like an all-out war, no CGI.
That,
Oh my
well,
god, yeah.
you have to invest in like 1/18th scale tanks and all this stuff to be in the stickbot size.
I have to make them all out of like cardboard or clay. I would even like I'd probably have like a whole entire stickbot SWAT team. One of my favorite things I did with the stickbot was in season 4, I put a gas mask on a
Oh, that
stickbot in the
looked.
first. Yeah, that was so fun to make because that took I actually it was like doing makeup on like an actor and like because you have to like slowly make sure you don't get their eyes or mouth peeled off because like the mouths and eyes come off so easily. So I had to sculpt it around the brown stick bot and the I had to make it really light so he wouldn't fall over and it looked really good in my opinion when it was done.
There's this. Do you know Clickbot Galaxy Defenders? Like, do you remember that?
Yes, actually. That's actually something I can recall. That was
The
the first time I saw Clickbot actually.
This one, they have a 3D printed mask, which I think is like now you could consider it loss of media, basically, because I think it's not in any of. Nobody can find the file at Stickbot, but they have this really cool. They have this really cool gas
Um,
mask. Here.
oh yeah, that's like almost like the hazmat mask. Except it's yeah, it looks almost like it was made for the stick bots, even though it was most likely 3D printed. And one of my favorite things about Galaxy Defenders is like the animation in like the fight scenes. It's just
The
yeah, it's very
opening.
like smooth in the camera, and the camera's like I don't know if the camera's like edited. Like sometimes I have the camera actually moving. In most of the fight scenes, the camera is actually like moving, but it's like almost edited to move, and it looks really good in the fight scenes because it's always moving with the characters. So it's almost like live action, but stick bot, and it
Yeah,
looks really
there's
good.
no. Yeah, you need that movement in the camera.
Yeah, in season 4, in the newest episode, the camera is gonna be moving a lot more. Same with the last episode, the camera was moving a lot more in the ending act.
Well, is there like a show that inspired the official Stickbot show or fan made one that really you like or inspired you or something like Off the Grid or Clickbot Galaxy Defenders or The Imposter?
Yeah, Imposters, I think was because that one wasn't even on. It wasn't even on Stickbot Central. I'm not sure, was it?
No, it was
Wait, it
made by
wasn't. I'm not
TNT.
sure.
Stickbot
Yeah,
TNT.
TNT. Yeah, Stickbot TNT. So that was like, dude, this guy was like one of the only guys I was aware of that actually put Stickbot stuff out on a channel that wasn't also on Stickbot Central. Yeah, Stickbot TNT has like the best animation. Like it's just like he has like Impact Stories, but it's not on Stickbot Central.
Yeah, like how
Yeah,
did
why
he
was this taken down? This is actually good.
how did he film this with a phone and like replicate the style so well?
Yeah, Moonshine Animation should be like aware of this. Like I don't know if he's still making. Wait, Moonshine is he still doing the Stickbot off the grid spinoff like Stickbot? What was it
He
called? It was called Off the Grid Nightmare.
Yeah, that's not his though. That's animated by Stickbot now, not him. Sadly.
Oh yeah, what happened to him? I think he still makes videos, but he uses like Figma.
Yeah, I have a Figma arm in my hand right now. Um,
Oh my god.
the yeah the he was saying that by like so the show Off the Grid was originally supposed to be like 3 seasons, but uh so they made it. He wrote it for 3 seasons, but by season 2, they're like, this is making a lot of money. We should go to season 6. And but because they were like paying him so much, he just kept on going. So, but by the end, he said he didn't really have his heart in it. It was kind of burnt out by it.
Yeah, I'm trying really. That's something like 5 parts right now, too. Even though I'm not making any money off of it, but like one of the main things I do when I film it is I'm like, this thing has been going on like when I just started animation, so I'm gonna make sure to finish it big, so it's like this before and after almost. Because
Yeah.
season 1 was definitely like way different than season 4. That's why I even revamped like locations like his cabin.
You want to have
That was totally
flashbacks
revamped.
to like in the end of season 4, you want to have flashbacks to season 1.
Oh yeah. See, if I were to do flashbacks again, I would make sure. to do it in a way that still fits the season 1 style of like story, but I'd probably revamp the animation. I probably wouldn't reuse clips anymore.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. My brother's like, "Are you done yet, bro? I need to come in the basement. I need to come in the basement right now."
Okay. Do you animate in the basement?
Oh yeah. I mean, as bad as that sounds, but the basement in my house was also, you could say it was also built like a stickbot set because it was built with
Okay.
my dad before I was born. So it was like, and it actually is a room of the house, and it was like really open. And this room has been forever changing. The same room I sit in right now is the room I animate in, and it's like a big open room. And we also built the stop motion table I use. This is like
Oh,
a fully built. We went to Home Depot and bought wood and stuff, and it's like really big. It's like bigger than our kitchen table.
did you design it
And
for like did you like do specific add-ons to it to make it like perfect for animation?
oh yeah, I have a drawer in there with two sides, and one is for clay, one is for characters and tools.
That's
And then at the
awesome.
bottom, I have where all my sets sit. I feel like every Christmas is where you're gonna see my animations get like more defined from each other because I think there's gonna be a big improvement this Christmas because I'm gonna get I think this Christmas I'm gonna get, instead of getting it earlier, I'm probably gonna get a new lighting system and a new camera lens extension that I never got before. It's gonna be,
Oh, like
I think that,
those
yeah, macro lens.
oh, that would yeah, the
Yeah, when you close up on stick bots without it, it's like their faces are small, so you have to go really close,
I
and it
got
blurs
I got
because it
like
doesn't focus.
3 macro lens and then I held one and it literally fell apart in my hands.
Oh god, I have nightmares. If that happened to me, I'd have nightmares. Like, oh, remember that time where your macro lens just
Yeah.
totally fell apart and like hit the ground really
It
dramatically?
was it was
So
horrible.
yeah, one of my greatest fears as of right now is watching. My cat is very, very like just calm right now, even though she has like the biggest personality of any cat. I got her in November as like a surprise on Black Friday, and it like I was gonna be doing episode 3, and it was the first episode I did when she was here, and she was so curious of everything. My tripod now goes down every night. I had to change green screens because she went up on my table and she like sleeps up there for some reason sometimes,
The one
and she
table.
like chewed on the green screen. She chewed all over the corners of the green screen, and I came home, and then my dad was like, "Okay, I'm gonna buy you a new green screen," and then I made the mistake and kept the new green screen up, and then the whole entire like, corners and stuff were chewed. It was
That
like
is
I had to get a lighter green screen. So
there's
now I have two
something
green screens. I have to use a separate one because the lime stick bot, Logan, he doesn't even work on a light green screen. So I have to use a dark green screen for him.
there's I've had like there's lots of stories I've heard of like cats and dogs, especially dogs, like eating stick bots for some reason. Like I don't know
Oh
what it
my
is. It's
god,
like the
stick
rubber
bot
or
killers.
plastic. Like
Oh yeah, that not the stick bot, but in that community post I made where I had like the hand, the monster sticking out, and then there's my cat like with its
mhm.
mouth open, almost biting its hand. Now that just because I made her do that little like she just wanted to do that, like now that she just did that, she is now obsessed. Every single time she sees the monster, she just feels like she has to sniff him out and like tear him apart. So I have to put him in a drawer and hide him at all times, or she'll just stare at him until I'm out of the room and she could like maliciously tear him apart. She won't be the whole entire savior of the show.
If you don't hide the monster, the show will be ruined.
So it's gonna be weird. You're gonna see if one episode you see season one's monster is supposed to come back and he's just totally made of clay and he looks nothing like how he originally does. It's
That's what.
because my cat totally ate him. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go soon because
All
like
right.
my brother's like,
Yeah,
come
this
on,
is
man,
probably a
come
good
on,
time.
it's Saturday. I need, yeah. But that was
Uh,
really nice though.
yeah, we
I'm really happy that it's 5 parts. Like that just encourages me definitely to do the spinoff because like if the I'm seeing like Stickbot had like this little decrease during quarantine. I mean, no, before quarantine, it had like a little decrease, and there was like Stickbot Central was really quiet. Everyone was kind of like there was still independent stuff coming out, but it was like a lot slower. And then during quarantine, it really just boomed, and now
yeah,
it's
and
like getting
community kind of
bigger.
saved
I
it.
think. Yeah, community is like everything when it comes to like animation and YouTube.
Agreed.
I think that if I keep on going, I think I'm gonna advertise it differently. Like thumbnails and title would definitely be smaller, but the thumbnails would have to be like. I feel like for the next episode, little tip on thumbnails. I feel like if you're doing stickbot stuff, make sure to make the stickbot the biggest part in your thumbnail,
You
right?
can't
Like
see
to make
anything
sure it takes
else
the most.
except for the stick bot.
It's just, I think the most popular stickbot video on Stickbot Central's YouTube channel.
The
I think the most popular video is just like the thumbnail is just the stickbot face. It's just entirely stickbot face.
what?
Actually, no, it's
It's the
okay. So it's like the one of 14 million stickbots rise to fame. It's just this face of the blue stickbot. It's like 14 billion views.
it has 14. Wait.
14 million. I think 7 years ago. And six no, I think it was 6 years ago. I think that was when Stickbot was almost like it was almost like those Lego animations where everyone would
It
just
was,
watch it just because like they
yeah, it
had
was at
and
that
everyone
height.
needed to have one. When I was at elementary school, everyone had a Stickbot, and I was like, "What is a Stickbot?" I was like, "What is a Stickbot?" It was like I was picturing like a Lego figure with two like suction cups because I never seen one before. I just knew that they were like little and they had suction cups for like legs and arms. And then I actually saw one for the first time when I looked it up, like on Stickbot Central. And I think the first thing I ever saw Stickbot on was like there was the series. I think it was called The Misadventures of Stickbot, the movie. I think that was
Oh,
the first thing I watched.
yeah.
Wait, I think that was the year I created Five Parts too. That might have been the same year.
So yeah,
Oh my
2018.
god, yeah, that was like a couple that was like a couple months before Five Parts was created. I think that was the first time I actually saw like a Stickbot series.
Yeah, Misadventures is definitely very epic. One of the top
Yeah.
series. Okay, my last thing for you before you get kicked out of the basement by your brother is the top Stickbot video on Stickbot Central's channel is not even animated by Stickbot. It's animated by
Always.
Pika1505, the Stickbot eating worm, which I knew was like a popular video, but I didn't know it was the most popular. Then the ultimate water bottle flip.
28 million views. Holy crap. Oh wait, what type of Stickbot is that?
That is a original glow in
Damn.
the dark. So that's the
Yo, if
version
they still
one.
make those,
They don't make
if
them, but
you,
you could buy
if
them on
they,
eBay.
wow. You know what? If you see in like the next episode of Five Parts
Okay,
a random glow in the dark mainline character
that's
Stickbot,
why.
it's because I thought it looked cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll send you any listings if they come up.
Thank you, man. Yeah, this has been really nice. That's
Yes,
I think the first time no most I ever explained about the past of like Five Parts and everything.
yes, that was yeah. The lore is so fun.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna stick to stick, but like even when like in the future when my channel is like probably more claymation stickbot like there will always be like a stickbot series running at some point. I
Okay,
mean there might be a little gap in 2025 because that's when I have a new series coming out and Haunting of Freddy's will probably still be going on, which is like my Five Nights at Freddy's series.
yeah,
And Stickbot will probably come back after that, but in a whole entire new series, and I think I'm gonna have that one be epic, like totally epic. It would be really nice to work with more people on a Stickbot series.
yeah.
Like just have like
If you ever
five
need voice
people.
actors or anything, we're up for it. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Okay, this is okay. I think this is where this is where my brother comes down the stairs
All right.
and knocks on the door and goes, hey man, um,
Yeah.
just to let you
Then we
know.
get him to talk about his series.
Yeah, and then I'm like, sit down, man. We're gonna get you to speak about your series that's still being worked on. It has not came out yet, bro. Oh my god, that's so funny.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
but
you
yeah,
for
I'll
being the
definitely
first
let you guys
episode.
know. Yeah, that's actually really. I'm very honored. I'm
Yeah.
very honored.
I'm.
And to let
I'm.
you guys know, which will probably be like a 98% for voice actors, especially in a spin-off. Oh my god, I might need because like everyone in Five Parts is voiced by me. I voice everyone in Five Parts to the point where my voice hurts for doing like I do
Oh.
like okay, if I were to do the voices right now, I could do like the voice of Logan. Like what can I say? I could say like make me say something. What should I say in the voice of
Hello, I'm
Logan?
Logan.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm Logan from Five Parts.
You can do it like it's unique enough that like I thought that they were different people.
Yeah, I pitched it. I used a pitcher. Like I
And then Andrew has
for
like the
Logan I
really deep
used.
voice.
Yeah, he speaks like this, guys. It's me, Andrew from Five Parts. Mick, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Yeah. And then I pitch it down by three, and it just sounds like a different person. I used to be obsessed with that where I just used a pitcher, and I change like the characters' voices all the time to the point where Jason just is my normal voice, just speaking more like
Do you feel connected to
calm,
Jason?
I guess. Jason Lore.
Jason Lore.
Okay. Um. Yeah. So I will definitely watch your second episode as well
Okay.
because I'm really curious on who's gonna be
I was
interviewed
I
in the
was hoping
future.
it was gonna be the creator of the Off the Grid wiki, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm definitely gonna do a wiki now.
Yeah, that
Now
would be
mentioning it
awesome.
because I was thinking what I could have on there, and there's so much like different characters and different lore points I could put on there. That'd be really cool.
Yes.
Imagine in the future I do a live action remake of Five Parts. That
That
was
would
like
be
always like
crazy.
a weird thought that I knew would be like extremely out of the blue if I did that. But just taking the concept of Five Parts and doing it in a totally different way.
I was like an
It
April
still have
Fool's
stick
Day.
plot references in there though. I think the only way to do this is if you do an outro.
All right. Thank you guys for watching the first episode of the StikCast. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next one. Check out BeigePlaz, and yeah.